Hi everyone. So my lesson is based on the pre-K unit of transportation. The goal of the lesson is to have the students identify different types of transportations and how people may use them. Throughout the lesson, they will be interacting with different types of transportation using the different centers in the classroom. For this reason, I don't really have a lot of the content to show you guys because it does involve the centers that are actually in early learning classrooms. So for the most part, I'll be talking through the lesson and just telling you my rationale for why I picked the things that I did for the content of the lesson. So to start the lesson, I would have the students as a whole group sing a variety of transportation related songs such as The Wheels on the Bus and Row 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 Your Boat. This can act like a hook for the lesson to get the children together, have them settle down, and also interest them as to what we are going to do. Also, this activates their prior knowledge and looks at what we've been doing for the unit so far. After, the students will be asked to identify any types of transportations that they can think about, and I would record the answers on anchor chart for the classroom. I will also read the book, the big book of things that go, as a reinforcement. So if students were able to identify some types of transportations, but they were missing others that we have talked about throughout the unit so far, reading the book would help them recall any types of transportations that they missed. And there would be a time where we can add these types of transportations to our anchor chart so that the students can identify all from the book and also what they know as well. Since the lesson is in the middle of the transportation unit that I planned, the students are going to have a lot of prior knowledge about transportation. Therefore, for majority of this lesson, it's more of interacting with the content rather than just exposing them and informing them. So after reading the book, I would have the children go into individual centers. The centers will be set up based on different types of transportation. So in the block center, I would have cars and trains and as well as blocks. A cardboard box can be used in that center and have the children use their imaginations to turn the center into whatever they would want it to be relating to transportation. For the arts and crafts centers, I would have the children make paper airplanes. For differentiation, I could have the students use instructions, picture instructions as a visual support to have them make or aid them in making the airplanes. For the dress up center, I would have different types of outfits, hats, spacesuits, available for the students to imagine that they are working in, let's say, an airplane or working in outer space or that they're engineers or any type of transportation related jobs that they can imagine that they are. At the water center, I would have little boats and water for them to interact to. So overall, I would assign a child to each group. The group size would be three to four students, depending on your class size. And for me, in my class, I would set up the groups based on the behaviors of the children. I have a lot of students that have IEPs, and some children tend to set them off. So I would try to minimize that by bringing up the children that have the behavioral issues in the classroom so that a child does not get triggered or that it doesn't create more of a behavior management issue for the staff members and myself. The centers will be rotated every 10 minutes. I believe 10 minutes is enough time for them to get into the center, get engaged, interact with each other, ask each other questions, have a good discussion, and then rotate. I don't want the children to get started working and then there's not enough time for them to really get the full learning experience at each center. The staff members would rotate the room, checking in with each group, asking them higher order thinking questions, encouraging discussions amongst the group members, asking them about the choices that they're making, why are they making the objects that they chose to create, and what types of objects they're using. So those would be some of the sample questions that we would ask the children. While asking them, we would also write down observations. That's how we assess what they're doing, and developmentally how they're interacting. When all the students have explored the different centers and the rotation is complete, I would have the students come back to the meeting area and just have them share about their experience. So some of the questions that we may ask is, which centers did you like best? What type of transportation is your favorite? Are there any other types of transportation that they would like to explore? If students want to explore even more, we can try to set up a follow-up lesson where they can have these other experiences. To close the lesson, I would read the book Chugga Chugga Choo Choo by Kevin Lewis, as kind of bringing down their momentum and getting them ready for the next part of their day, and also a nice closing for the lesson. So overall, I think this lesson works for the age group that I have, because it gives them an opportunity to work hands-on, to compare and contrast at the attributes of different various transportation modes. The children can explore the transportations in the classroom, and it also taps into their interest about vehicles and how they travel, and making meaningful connections, having meaningful discussions. Having the different centers open also gives the children a chance to explore the task and the topic using a variety of learning styles. So even though children may overall are doing things hands-on, they get to interact with the various centers based on their interest level as well. So it's not as if they're only working in the block center for this lesson, or they're only working using gross motor and making an airplane. They all get to get a sense of each center and rotate them based on the lesson, and get a fruitful learning experience from the lesson. All right. Thank you.